we go? We good? We good. Good. A bit late, but we're here. Hey, Chidari. How's it going? And Beako. Okay. Episode 3, my lord. Banquet of the Golden Witch. Good morning. This is a surprise that even now you do not surrender. The Golden Witch has exceedingly high expectations of you. Have you perhaps also come to realize the structure of this world? No, I don't understand anything. I'm confused. There can be no victory without knowing the rules. Please enjoy a hearty game with the witch. The difficulty lever is fair. Okay, I don't trust it. Fair for you and fair for the witch. Aw, scene alert. Okay. I'm bracing for it. Let's go. New angle, yeah, I'm standing today. My lower back is complaining from all the sitting, so I decided to do a standing stream. Haven't done these in a long time. Right. The vase was very beautiful, rich with history and value. Even as young as I was, it still forced me to take a deep breath when I witnessed its beauty. Of course, it was one of grandfather's favorite collection pieces. So that I didn't accidentally destroy its fragile beauty, I was always strictly ordered never to touch it. But that just made me want to touch it. I feel like we haven't heard the song in a while. You could almost see right through it, and yet it was so elegant, it appeared so weightless, and yet it had an indescribable presence. I wanted to see what it felt like to touch a vase like that. However, just as grandfather had said, it was something that must not be touched. This much beauty arises precisely because it must never be touched. Okay, how many times are we gonna say the word touch? It was a beauty that could only dwell in something so fragile it would break at a touch. Which is exactly why, if it were to be touched by my impudent finger, it would oh so easily, just like an enjoyable morning dream fading into nothing as you wake. It vanished, fell, and broke into smithereens. Eh? I realized that because of my own foolish curiosity, I had done something that couldn't be taken back. Okay, so you touched it in the end, even though we said so many times that, or like, we read so many lines that the vase shouldn't be touched. Okay, of course. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, the broken vase would not return to its original form. I would probably be scolded by grandfather, probably very harshly. Frightened, I ended up breaking into tears and sobbing. As I did, I noticed something beautiful. Lightly dancing golden butterflies were coming towards me. The beautiful butterflies began to gather one at a time, glittering fantastically with glowing golden powder. Ah, thank you. It's not like it's super new. I have streamed standing before, but not in a while, to be fair. Also, I had to turn off one of my lights because I have one to the left and one to the right, but the one to the right is angled in such a way that it kind of like it's a bit looking up and then reflecting from the wall towards me. But if I stand and I'm right at the same angle as it, it's no longer above me. And so it was way too bright, and the way my camera adjusted to it was weird, and my face was glowing, and especially since I decided to wear white, which doesn't really sit well with it most of the time. Yeah, it was looking weird. So I turned it off and I turned on another smaller light. My first streamer light, actually, I have like in a little corner there. Doesn't really do that much, but yeah, this could also contribute to the difference that you're perceiving. Light is not the same. Anyway. The beautiful butterflies began to gather, one at a time, glittering fantastically with glowing golden powder. Oh, it's Beatrice. That reliable golden witch. Beatrice has arrived. Or are we seeing this from, like, from whose perspective is this? Is Jessica, maybe? It's one of the kids, for sure. Eh? Okay. The butterflies gathered one after another, grouped together, and there became her form. Hey, Bancho. She was always on my side. Whenever I was in trouble, she would always appear and help me.
ごきげんよう、お姫様。Beatrice!
Oh, this is a completely different person. Okay. Got it. Got it. We're not talking about the current family or something. Where are we? Wait. Is this a tiny Jessica then? Oh, I'm so confused.
おやおや。このような絶好のお茶会日和に、どうして姫様はそのように涙をこぼされているのですか？
おじい様が大切にしていた壺を壊してしまったの。おじい様に怒られます。
Sanae! Yes! Alright, yeah, thank you, thank you.
どうしたらいいかわからなくて。
それは困りましたね。これは親方様が大層お気に入りになられていた壺のはず。どのような折檻があるか、このベアトリーチェ、想像するのも恐ろしゅうございます。
Grandfather was a very frightening person, and once he told you something, if you failed to follow it, he would become mad with a rage that would make even the fallen angels in hell quiver. Oh my god. I was intimately familiar with that, which is why I couldn't do anything but shake like this and cry.
こぼしてしまった姫様の涙を救う魔法は持ち合わせておりませんが、姫様が親方様から折檻を受けなくて済むようにする魔法なら、なんとかなるかもしれません。
本当？
姫様が私の力をお信じくだされば、魔法の力の根源は信じる力。奇跡はそれを強く信じる者の前にしか示されません。
信じる。ベアトリーチェの魔法を信じます。
Okay.
だからこの壺を直してください。お願いします。
姫様がそれをお望みでしたら、それではこのベアトリーチェにお任せを。
When she extended her index finger, a golden butterfly softly landed there, and changed its form into her favorite magic wand. Even that was enough to give me a small glimpse at Beatrice's wonderful and great magic power. She pointed her wand at the broken vase, and just like a child's lullaby, she began speaking the magic words.
さあさあ、目を閉じてごらんなさい。そして思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。それはきっととてもとても美しい姿。どうか私にあの姿をもう一度見せておくれ。
Were they words, or was it a song? No, it was surely magic. After all, can't you see? The pieces of the vase are gathering together in no time at all, and softly returning to the place where they had been displayed, returning to their original beautiful form.
すごい。
ほら、これで元通りですよ。これで親方様にお叱りを受けずに済みますね。
I want to see the rest of her dress. I'm curious. Is there a profile for her? I would be very curious.
ベアトリーチェはすごいね。壊れた壺を直すなんて造作もないんだね。
そんなことはありませんよ。壊れてしまったものを元に戻すのはとてもとても難しいことです。私の魔法は一時それを思い出させるだけに過ぎませんよ。
でも、壺はちゃんと元通りになったよ。
そうですね。ですがそれは 壺が壊れたという運命を回避させたわけではありません。壊れた壺に一時壊れる前の姿を思い出させるだけに過ぎません。壊れた運命を元の姿に修復するほどの魔力は、このベアトリーチェにも未だ至らぬ遥かな高みなのです。
Interesting. At that time, the high-pitched scream of a servant could be heard from inside the mansion. When I went to see what had happened, I noticed that several of the servants had gathered and were cleaning up the remains of the broken vase. From what they said, it seemed that the black cat had sneaked in from somewhere, climbed up on the vase, and toppled it over. Hey Zeku, how's it going? I understood the meaning of what Beatrice had said. At the time that I broke the vase had been broken. Beatrice had shown me that the vase had been restored, but that had been a temporary thing. I didn't mean the fate that the vase had been broken had changed. It didn't mean, sorry. So the fate hadn't changed. As a result, the vase had remembered its true fate and broke. But I hadn't broken it. Instead, it had been a cat which had snuck in. That's right. Beatrice hadn't said, let's mend the vase. She had said she would make it so that I didn't have to be punished. The fate of the vase breaking hadn't changed, but the fact that I had broken it certainly had. Beatrice had skillfully saved me from danger with that magic.
物を壊すことはとても容易なことです。姫様が壺を割るのに魔法を必要としなかったように。
直すことはとても難しいこと？
はい。
Hey Lord Boo, I love this episode, some really strong moments and also some valuable hints for the overall mystery. Okay, I will pay attention.
姫様が途方に暮れて泣き出してしまうほどに。
魔法というのは恐ろしいことをする時の方がたやすいの？壊したり殺したりすることは簡単にできるのに、直したり蘇らせたりするのはとても難しいというし。
Seagulls. Those are seagulls in the background. There are seagulls in this novel. Sorry, it's just a little detail.
そうですね。魔法は殺めたり壊したりすることの方がとても簡単です。故に誘惑に負ける弱き魔女たちは安易に身につけられる力に酔い、本当の魔法の修行を怠ってしまいます。本当の魔法とは、治す力、蘇らせる力、散ってしまった幸せを呼び戻し、冷めてしまった愛をも呼び戻す。
Interesting, okay.
そして微笑を忘れてしまった姫様の顔に笑顔を呼び戻せるのですよ。
なら、壺を直すことができたベアトリーチェはすごい魔女ということ？
私などまだまだ修行の日々ですよ。壺が割れるという運命を私の魔法ではほんの1時間も忘れさせることができなかったのですから。私に魔法を教えてくれたお師匠様ならきっと壺を元の姿に蘇らせることができたでしょうね。
壊れても壊れても何度でも何度でも直せる？
ええ。その境地に達した時、無限の魔力が備わるでしょう。それこそが魔女の達するべき無限の境地。私たちはその魔女を最大の敬いをもってこう呼びます。
無限の魔女。
そうです。無限に治す力を持つ魔女にとって壊れるという概念はもはや存在しない。失うというすべての悲しみから解放され、永遠の至福を約束されるのです。
Certainly, the human world is full of sadness caused by separation and loss. To escape that sadness, people pray to God and ask for the power to withstand the sadness, believing it to be a test. In other words, a human's life is a journey searching for a way to withstand sadness. Aw, that's a bittersweet way to put it. In that case, a witch who could revive all things would be freed from all sadness in the world. Who did? In other words, it is eternal bliss.
私もベアトリーチェみたいな魔女になって永遠に幸せになれるかな。
姫様がですか？それは長い大変な修行となりますよ。
I hear them again. They're definitely in the background there. Oh, they're part of the song, aren't they? Yeah, there it is.
私魔女になりたい。幸せになりたい。
I mean, I guess it's fitting because the cry of the seagulls goes hand in hand with the feeling of hope.
ベアトリーチェの弟子になりたい。
そのお気持ちにいささかの揺らぎもありませんか？
はい。私も魔女になりたいです。
わかりました。では姫様がお飽きになるまで私の弟子にして差し上げましょう。私のことをお師匠様と呼べますか？はい、
お師匠様。
良い返事ですね。ではこれからは私と一緒に魔法の深淵を学んでいきましょう。私とって修行の身。共に魔法を正しく学び、至福の境地を目指して頑張りましょう。
Did you get who the princess is? I don't know. I have my doubts, but I don't want to voice them. It's okay. Not my doubts, but like my guesses. My guesses. It's fine. Goda? Yeah, it's definitely Goda.
はい、お師匠様。
We're back here. I don't like this. It wasn't a very pleasant place last time.
夢か。懐かしい顔だ。
Endless Witch, was it? A name that I had yearned for in the past as the highest achievement, now just another one of my titles. Now you can even call it a name.
たまにはその呼び名に充足を感じるのもおつなものかもしれない。長き修行の日々の果てに得たものではないか。たまにはありがたみを感じねば少々もったいないというものよ。
I shook my head lightly. If it is called the highest level, that means there is nothing higher. An eternal dead end, the beginning of eternal boredom.
お師匠様は言っていたね。
It must be so boring.
すべての悲しみから解き放たれることがすなわち永遠の至福だと。だからこそお師匠様はその域に至れなかった。
Eternal bliss means eternal boredom. That's the beginning of eternal torture. But perhaps all things depend on your point of view. Eternal boredom is the same as a sketchbook that doesn't run out of pages. It means you can draw whatever you want, can put in as much effort to enjoy it as you want. Boredom is the worst poison that kills all witches. To the great witches who hold the title Lady, this is frighteningly true. It is the eternal poison that tortures them because of the eternal bliss that they have reached. Ugh.
無限の魔女の名を得た今だからこそ再びお師匠様と語らいたいものよ。
Ah! Wait, I pressed the wrong button, my bad.
我らの修行の果てにあったのは本当に幸せだったのか。
I mean, ain't that up to you to decide what you do with it?
本当の幸せとは何なのか。
Training has no end. When you think you have reached the eternal level, that is the time to regret your immaturity. As if in answer to my own words, a memory of her saying something like that entered my mind.
なるほど。わらわは未熟か。それはよい、それはよい。
Wait, what does it keep doing this? I'm definitely not on the... Okay. Okay. I'll be more careful. Some painfully shrill laughter could be heard. It was from my furniture. Did they break their toy again?
ベアトリーチェ様、こいつまた動かなくなっちゃいました。まだ私全然遊び足りないのに、情けない男。私なんか全然遊んでないのに、私にも遊ばせて遊ばせて。お黙りなさい、クズどもが。お前たちが飢えた犬みたいにがっつくから、いくらベアトリーチェ様が直してもすぐ壊しちゃうのよ。
サタン姉が一番壊してるよ。加減を知らないから。
申し訳ございません、ベアトリーチェ様。グマイどもをどうかお許しください。
早くこいつを直して。次は私、次は私。
静かにせぬか、やかましい。
Battler's popularity with girls is not serving him well this time. Oh, it was about Battler then. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about them. I'm conflicted. Even when Bea is sharing fan art of them in the Discord, I like react with like thumbs up. Okay, it's them. I don't know how to feel about them yet. It's okay, don't worry, Ziku. It's fine. Just from that single yell, the noisy sisters of the Seven Stakes disappeared and hid. They just mess around, having as much fun as they want breaking him. This is one thing that comes into my mind. Like, their definition of furniture is definitely not the same as Genji's definition of furniture, because they're completely opposite to that. Like... They only come to me to clean up afterwards. Good grief, my furniture doesn't let me get bored. Hello, how's it going? What remained after the pieces of furniture hid themselves was just the sloppy mess that was all that remained of the broken toy. It had no form anymore. Oh my god. Even I find it hard to recall. Oh, sorry. She's not narrating anymore, she's actually saying it. It confuses me sometimes. It's okay. Gosh darn it. I waved my golden pipe and I chanted. I made it to remember. I really don't like where this has gone. Like, the moment they were talking about broken vases earlier, it immediately made me think of how Beatrice is destroying and breaking people. But I thought, no, I'm overthinking it. It's not gonna get connected. It is getting connected to that. This is it. It's so... ugh. From cute Princess Beato to cute evil Beato. I don't know if I would call evil Beato cute. But yeah, that, I guess.
何しろわらわには今のそなたは肉の残骸の山にしか見えぬのでな。どれが腕やら足やら見当もつかぬ。そなたが思い出してくれなければ、わらわにはそなたの面影も思い出せぬ。
By the power of the magic, the pitiful pieces of meat began to remember what their form had been. Who was connected to who, where was joined up with where. That's right, just like that. No, you should be a finger on the left. God, I don't need the details, okay? I get it. Can we move on? And you the right hand. That's it. Good, good.
おはよう。目が覚めたか？後ろ宮バトラー。もっとも目が覚めた方が悪夢の中とは実に皮肉な話だがな。わらわを魔女と認めさえすればすぐにそなたの悪夢を覚まし天国へ誘ってやろうぞ。わらわこそは煉獄山の王。わらわの許しなしにこの地獄より抜け出す方法はないのだ。
この程度で地獄かよ。ダメだな。ああ、全然ダメだぜ。
人ならば一度しか味わわずに済む死の苦しみをもう両手の指では数えきれぬほど与えられたというのに、よくもそれだけの減らず口を叩けるものよ。だからこそ飽きぬ。そなたには飽きぬのよ。
ああ、全然飽きねえぜ。何しろ太ももの眩しいバインバインの姉ちゃんたちがよりどりみどりのハーレム状態なんだからよ。
What are we reading? Oh god, Battler.
おかげさまでまるで退屈しねえぜ。
それはよかった。そうでなくてはわらわも退屈だ。
Yes. You got me. I love it. It's like my one, like, I mean, I guess this is the whole point of Battler, right? He's our proxy in the novel, and whenever he's like in this mode, yeah, I'm like, yes, please, Battler, go for it. Busty ass Nichans. Battler's unbreakable optimism awaken. I hope so. Every Japanese story is harem. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. They sure seem to insert it in a lot of them, for sure.
それ、家具ども、直してやったぞ。また存分に遊ぶがよい。
ありがとうございます私がいただきだからあんたは終わりよ終わり次は私なのどきなさいよ素敵よねバトラ君モテモテじゃない
モテる男は辛いぜ畜生ども順番に並びやがったんだ
To be fair, it's also coming on the back of how Battler was at the end of last stream. It really hurt to see him so, like, beneath himself, and the fact that he is no longer like that gives me, like, it uplifts me a little bit, gives me a bit of hope. So yeah, it felt nice to hear his iconic Zen Damedaze earlier.
虚勢など張らずに素直になればもっと楽になれるのに。
いいのよこれでその方が悲鳴が気持ちいいもの
さあ今度は簡単に壊すんじゃないわよ。いいわね返事はあんたが仕切るんじゃないわよ。さあバトラ君さっきの続きよ。マスターキーでジェシカちゃんの部屋を施錠した後どうやって室内の死体のポケットに鍵を戻したというの？
Belphegor's voice but Satan's looks. Okay.
例えばよ
Mammon best girl. Okay. The only difference I see right now between them is the hair color and the voice. That's it. Otherwise, they seem more or less the same. Of course, there's a little bit of a different personality infused in there, but in the end, their purpose, what they want to do is the same. That's anime in a nutshell, I guess.
そうさ。釣り糸か何かを使って鍵だけを扉の隙間から室内に戻して。は
ずれ。甘いな。六軒島に存在するすべての扉は鍵が通り抜けられる隙間などない。
They can use red truth as well. I thought this was a Beatrice thing.
外れたね、外れたね。さあ、今度は私よ。私の番なのよ。どこを貫いちゃおっかな。
私、手の甲。
ずるい。じゃあ反対の手の甲。
Leviathan has my favorite seiyuu. Alright.
私は花の頭をもらっちゃおっと。なんで私にもやらせて、私にも貫かせて。レビア姉はトロいのよ。いつだって私たちは早い者勝ちでしょうが。じゃあ私は足の甲をいただいちゃおっと。私は肩をもらっちゃうからいいもん。
姉妹なんだろ。仲良くしやがるってんだ。
ほう、よくも耐えるものだな。お前のその痩せ我慢がむしろ私たちを楽しませているだけだとなぜ気づかない。
あいにくだな、痩せ我慢と。肘の張り合いは俺のお箱なんだ。お前らがどう俺を煙に巻こうとも、俺は絶対に魔女も魔法も認めねえ。
人間とトリックで何も説明できないくせにバカじゃないの、この身の程知らずが。いいのよ、無理に認めさせなくても。今に泣きながら認めたくなるわ。今だって本当は哀れに土下座しながら許しを請いたいくせに。
もう壊しちゃった。ベアトリーチェ様。
やれやれ。
So the way this game of theirs go is they ask him one question, he doesn't answer it right, and then they all just destroy him. Okay, very fair. Very wholesome, yeah.
わらわがいくらでも蘇らせられることを知っているから、家具どもも壊すことに躊躇がない。
I really don't feel like the other Beatrice that we saw earlier, who was talking about the endless power, thought of it like using the power to revive just so you can break it all over again. I don't think that's the direction in which she was talking about it, or in which she was trying to teach. But okay.
困ったものよ。
Endless rebirths gave me free reign over endless deaths too. Before the endless witch Beatrice, all death in life has no meaning. Even death can't serve as the key to escape from my cage.
さあバトラー、再び元の姿を思い出すがいい。何度でももてあそんでやるぞ。なるほどなるほど。永久に遊べる玩具とは実に愉快よ。なるほどな。これが無限の境地に至った魔女が得る至福の境地とやらなのか。なるほどなるほど。これは確かに愉快で至福だ。
I don't know, do you believe yourself when you say that?
何度でも蘇らせてやる。何度でも殺してやる。さて、次なるゲーム版ではどのような殺人劇を繰り広げよう。
A vase is beautiful because it can break. I mean, I guess that can go in line with the idea that human life is beautiful and precious because it can end. If it never ended, then maybe its value would be diminished. But that doesn't mean it's alright or fair or fun in any way to destroy, remake it, and destroy it all over again. Like, I feel she's like really gone off the rails in this direction. It's not healthy. Immortal sucks, yeah. Smart me? I don't know. I'm just saying what's on my mind.
さあ、新しきゲーム版を持て。次なるゲームを始めようではないか。
Okay, we get the intro again. Party mode. Yeah, it's a really cool intro. Ooh, interesting. Aww, Jessica singing in canon. Aww, that's so cute. Who are these people? Wow. Oh no, George. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go through this frame by frame. There seems to be a lot of stuff in there that I just can't follow fast. My mind cannot follow what my eyes see fast enough to parse and process it. Days as a young girl. Ooh. Alright. Okay.
Yare yare.
Ah, we get to see Rudolph again with his accent. Cool. It's meant to be like that, it's all future stuff, I can see. There's a bunch of like past things too, at least from the perspective of the CG and the sprites and the scenes in themselves. There's a few from the past episode too. Those I recognized.
姉貴のタバコ嫌いにも参ったもんだな。すまんな。夕べからカリカリしとるんや。
Yeah, let's see.
気にせんでやってくれんか。
Rudolph and Hideyoshi went out onto the deck and took out some cigarettes. Eva had always hated the smell of cigarettes, but when she was in a bad mood, she got even more oversensitive. The two had attempted to spend some relaxed time smoking until they made it to the island, but they had gotten yelled at and chased out onto the deck. In this perspective, I can totally and completely support Eva in her endeavor because I also cannot stand cigarette smoke. Hideyoshi tried to use his lighter, but it didn't go well with all of the strong winds on the deck. Rudolph took out a Zippo with the stylish gesture and let Hideyoshi borrow this flame.
秀吉兄さんはいつ頃からタバコ？戦後すぐや。最初はタバコを転がしとってな。
自分の売り物に手をつけてしまったわけや。
じゃあ姉貴と会った時にはもう知ってたわけだ。姉貴には随分やめろやめろと言われたでしょ
う。わしが聞く耳持たんもんだから、あれももうすっかり諦めよった。やはり男は強情でなくてはあかんな。
Hideyoshi laughed heartily, but Rudolph chuckled. After being scolded by Eva and told to smoke outside, they had dejectedly fled to the deck together. There was almost no doubt he was under her thumb.
普段はそこまで短気じゃないんや。いや、普段はもっと温和なおとなしい女なんやで。
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Very, very good then. It's good that you have these. I feel like saying boundaries, but I don't know if boundaries is the right word, but just like guidelines to respect, like never inside the house. It's not just like the fact that everything is gonna smoke like it, but it's gonna get into the walls and everything. Over time, it has like a weird effect, and yeah. So I have a distaste for this as well, but also the smoke itself, like me inhaling it, it just throws me into a coughing fit. I'm not good with it. I can't stand it, so it is what it is. Best law in Sweden: smoking not allowed within 10 meters of a restaurant, bar, serving area. Okay, alright. I still remember the old days. I mean, I was very young, so I wasn't really going to places much, but I still remember kind of like the times when it was like the rule of not smoking inside anymore was enforced onto restaurants and bars and other places, and people were absolutely annoyed at it. I was here like, but I have to breathe, and you are polluting the air that I have no choice but to breathe. Like, what can I do, you know? It's, yeah. It's not like it's outlawed to do it, it's just doing it absolutely anywhere you feel like it might not be the best choice, especially when there are other people around who need to breathe some air, right? Just don't breathe. Maybe we can install some filters on in our noses to not breathe at all the smoke. Just grow some cats. Yeah.
毎年毎年この日になると人が変わりよるんや。
そうなんですか？
But yeah, interesting. I have something to connect with Eva.
俺らがよく知る昔からの姉貴そのものに見えますがね。
そうや。後ろ宮家のエヴァに戻るんや。でもそれはわしと一緒のエヴァとは違うんや。
まあカリカリする気持ちもわかります。今回の親族会議は面倒だ。
そうやな。あのクラウス兄さんから金を脅し取ろうっちゅう計画や。親族会議なんて名ばかりの、これはただの兄弟喧嘩や。
With the family conference ahead of them, the three siblings, excluding Kraus, had made a secret contract. Each of them had a pressing situation to deal with and urgently needed a lot of money. And the only one who could help them was Kraus, who spoke for the Ushiromiya head since Kinzo was shut up in his study. They had long felt that Kraus had started taking advantage of Kinzo's loss of interest in his own wealth and was embezzling that wealth for his own use. When everything had been going well for the siblings, even though they had found it detestable, they had pretended not to notice. But now that they needed money, they couldn't just quietly accept that. Eva had called Rudolph and Rosa into an alliance, and they were planning to exploit that knowledge in order to draw money out of Kraus.
わしも、そしてルドルフ君も社長や。社員の生活を背負っとる身や。
ローザも社長ですよ。ま、道楽ですが。
そうやな、失礼。つまり、 わしらは誰もが背負うものを持っとるっちゅうことや。
俺も幹部連中の前で啖呵を切った以上、土下座しても泥をすすってでも金を引っ張ってこなきゃならない。
お互い様や。わしもわしを信じてついてきてくれた社員たちを裏切れん。それこそクラウス兄さんの首根っこを掴んででも金を引っ張り出さんといかんのや。
姉貴は昔っから兄貴とは犬猿だ。その兄貴と全面対決しなくちゃならねえんだから、そりゃカリカリもするだろうよ。
やっぱりエヴァはクラウス兄さんとは昔から仲が悪かったんか？
本人話しませんか？そりゃもう盛大に。
昔の話は聞いても話してくれんのや。思い出したい話がないんやろな。
姉貴は昔っから容量も良くて頭が良かった。成績も良かった。それに比べ兄貴は盆栽だった。ただそばにいるだけでも十分にプレッシャーだったろうに、姉貴はわざわざそれを誇示して兄貴を追い詰めていた。
More insight into sibling interactions.
アホやな。なんでそない敵外心むき出しで追い詰めるんや。
Yeah, because I guess that's the Eva way of doing things.
そういうのは容量がいいとは言わん。
No, it's just being loud and obnoxious.
確か姉貴は女に生まれたことを悔やんでた。だから男というだけの理由で当主を継ぐことが決まっている兄貴が多分許せなかったんだ。
Isn't she younger than him too? So even if she had been a man, wouldn't Kraus still be the first in line? え？
だからことあるごとに自分の方が優秀であると親父に誇示していたっけ？
Yeah, don't worry, I understood what you meant, Lord Wu, it's okay. It's nice to get like these little glimpses into their stories.
お父さんは古いタイプの人や。男女には差別的な価値観を持っとった。自己顕示の強いエヴァは少々嫌われてたんとちゃうか？
女の学力は紅茶の砂糖にも似ていると思わないかね。
Schooling for women is like sugar in black tea. へ？Yeah, I got it now. Since we had this talk about her and now things turned into like old-timey yellowish vibes. Like, okay, we're getting glimpses into the past. I think the implication might be that Eva would be so fitting of succeeding him in Kinzo's eyes that had she been son instead, he would skip Kraus. Okay, yeah. I can see that. Oh, that's so... There's so many things wrong with this sentence.
ないのも味気ないが、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
Then for some difficult exploration of patriarchy in the 60s, 70s Japan. Since you can still drink black tea without sugar, it was exactly the same as saying that study was unnecessary for a woman. Those infuriating words were ones that my older brother had abused me with when I had been in despair wanting to go to college but denied by father. Sepia filter engaged. It's sexism time. Oh my god. I had protested that advancing to college was essential if I was to acquire the education and class befitting the eldest daughter of the Ushiromiya family. But the replies I received from father and my brother were in summary exactly the same. So many wrong things with this sentence, olden day culture. Yeah, but... Jesus. I'm not gonna go into it, because if I do, we're gonna be here all night. The correct word is graduate school, not college. Eva wants a PhD or something. Oh, that's actually different. Why did they translate it badly? Yeah. Traditions equal culture. Yeah, I know. How conceited for a woman. As a woman with a PhD, I feel very offended in a lot of levels. Since the time I was born into the Ushiromiya family, I hadn't taken that name lightly even once. And furthermore, nor had I ever taken lightly father's name, Ushiromiya Kinzo. I was an old family with a long history, but it had lost all its wealth and its business in the Great Kanto earthquake and almost sank for a time. Father, with his ingenious talent, had taken control and revived it to be even greater than it had been before. Smash capitalism and fuck patriarchy shirt on. I mean, we don't have to go as far as like smash and things, but it is very, very healthy to maintain a mindset where you are open to the fact that things that maybe you have taken for granted your whole life might not be the best and you can adjust, but that doesn't mean you have to completely go and like smash everything. I don't think everything about capitalism needs to be smashed and like, I don't know, let's live in anarchy or a world of chaos, but of course things can be improved and we should always strive for improvements. I hadn't forgotten even once what it meant to be the daughter of that great Ushiromiya Kinzo. Therefore, I had always made every effort to become worthy of that name, class worthy of the Ushiromiya family. Schooling, manners, and leadership. Even if I was far from reaching father's level, I deepened my knowledge in economics and finance and tried to improve myself so that I could help out with that at any time. However, in the end, there never came a time when father acknowledged that. To father, a woman was only meant to support a man, and nothing further than that was permissible. I wonder when it was that I understood that. I probably understood ever since I was a young girl. But to truly accept it, I had to wait until I had grown up. Compared to my own effort, you couldn't have said that Kraus, as my older brother by 2 years, tried at all to become deserving of the Ushiromiya family name. Ever since we were young, my brother kept saying that it was natural that he'd succeed father just because he was born a man. He kept repeating that as though it were an absolute gap between us. Yeah, that's very, very wrong on the Krause's side. Just like, I have this thing that gives me an advantage. I never had to work for it. I was just born with it, so I'm just gonna chill. No. I couldn't stand it, even though I always got better grades than my brother. Though I became class president while he was stuck as vice president of his class. Even so, my brother was considered to be the appropriate person to succeed the Ushiromiya family just because he was a man. Kraus learned it from Kinzo, and Kinzo learned it from his generation. Yes, I know. I totally understand that it's a thing that just comes from one generation to the other. And the only way that it changes is that someone wisens up at some point and is like, stop. It stops with my generation. I'm gonna do things differently. Of course, you could get away with gender discrimination in those days. No, it was even considered a virtue in those days. It was a time when women were looked down upon, and it was said that when a woman is born, she is to obey her parents, when she gets married, she is to obey her husband, and when she gets old, she is to obey her children. Yeah. I mean, there's still, like I said, things to be improved, and we should always see the world for what it could be, not just accept it for what it is, and strive for improvements and for bettering ourselves. But man, when I read things like this, and when I try to place myself in the context of this time frame and this culture and this mindset of the people back then, I feel so grateful that I was born in these days, because there's just like so much that is different and it's so much better. Yeah. Those were real hard times. We might sometimes even take a little bit for granted the advantages we have nowadays. So, something to reflect upon. To be fair, 60s Japan was a lot more traditional in terms of gender roles than even Europe at that time. Yeah, I understand. Of course, the entirety of the world cannot be on the same level on how these things develop, right? They are not in sync, let's say. So I guess this emphasizes it even more, like where we came from and where we are. It went for a lot longer than the 60s. I mean, I will take you at your word. I don't know the specifics of that. But because that way of thinking existed, I wanted to overturn it. Innocently, I kept trying to prove that I was the most fit. However, eventually I realized that all of my efforts were doomed from the beginning.
女の学力は紅茶の砂糖にも似ていると思わないかね。
Yes, that is true.
ないのも味気ないが、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
それはどういう意味よ、兄さん。
男には男にしか務められないことがあるように、女とて女にしか務められないことがあるんじゃないかね。
When you put it in this abstract form, of course I can agree with that. There are things that men are better at or have a more predisposition towards, and there are things that women are better at and have more predisposition towards. But what does this have to do with the other, right? There are things that shouldn't be gendered in their in like how much you pursue them or not, like to insert barriers if the person wants to go a bit further, right? Because it's just because we have functioning system doesn't mean we can think about better systems or alternating system. Also, we can't deny problems that arise from those systems we have in place, but that's like so meta, not like there's any chance to solve it anyhow. Adapt, I guess. I think this... How do I put it? This state of being aware of what you have and striving for improvements is the natural human state, generally speaking. This is how you will constantly live your life. This is how things will constantly be in the world. We have what we have and we try to improve it. But I think sometimes we stray a little bit too much into the direction, oh, everything is bad, we have to break it down and rebuild it, whatever, and we stop seeing the things that actually have improved over time through the efforts of the people that came before us, and for which we should sometimes maybe stop a little bit and express a bit of gratefulness towards. So when I'm put in these situations, I am reminded of those. It just makes me reflect, like, oh wait, there's a lot of things to be grateful for. I'm okay to be living in these times, even though some things may not be great. But we will never reach perfection. There will never be a moment in time when everything is great. We will always be in this constant state of striving for the better. And so we have to also make peace with the idea that we will never have perfection, and be grateful for what we have, and still see the good in the bad and the bad in the good, basically. Women, babies, men, everything else, balanced gender roles. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't right. Celebrate all the improvements that happen, yeah. There's still a wage gap, employers not wanting to hire women, and I read a case in the newspaper where a medical university was found out to lower female examinees' results because, well, they will be mothers and not work, so teaching them is a waste of resources. There will still be people who will have those mentalities. There will still be places where groups of people with those mentalities congregate and do those things. But is it fair to just look at those people, which I will accept it is a reality, it's happening and it's not alright, but is it fair to just look at those and completely ignore maybe a higher number of other people and other groups of people in other places who don't have that mentality, who actually go against it and who actually do it right? So all I'm saying is, yeah, they exist, but these others exist as well, so maybe let's be a little bit grateful towards that as well. Important to remember we live at the best time in history according to many metrics. That is also true. We could also pray to the Witch of Miracles for a miraculous world. Oh, Chidarin. Right, okay, let's get back to Eva. Eva is living in those times. And yeah, I can empathize with her plight.
子を産み育て一家の主を支えるのは女でなければできぬ務めだと思うがね。
I mean, giving birth, sure. Raising children, it can be split. Don't be an idiot. Supporting their husband, sure, but you should also support your wife. Why shouldn't that go both ways? Anyway. This scene always triggers a political debate in chat comment sections. I can imagine why. I can imagine why. Also, this is my headcanon. I think Rosa took inspiration for her hairstyle from this point. Ah, because of Eva having it this way. I see. I see. Sure.
女には勉強や仕事をする必要がないと言いたいの？
そこまでは言わんよ。無学な女など話していても疲れるだけだ。だが、あまり頭が良すぎる女はもっと疲れる。
There it is. That is the crux of it. You feel threatened. You need to be in a position where you feel superior. Otherwise, you're like, oh, I don't know what to do with myself. This woman she's so smart. Headcanon this as partially Kraus being lazy and not wanting to bother with fatherly duties. I guess. Definitely, I mean, maybe it's also because of how things have happened thus far that we got to see a lot more interactions between Jessica and Natsuhi, but I definitely sensed a much stronger bond and connection there than with Kraus. As long as we're not among approximately 50 million modern-day slaves, yes, best time to live. I mean, yeah. Not by the official definition of slaves. It's also a scene that explains in One Fell Swoop why Eva is always so competitive. I can see that, yeah. Because there are ways in which, particularly workplaces, can devolve in such a way that it feels like you're like slaving for that company. But you have tools and options and possibility to get out of situations like that. But you have maybe in some cases you have to work really hard, but you can do it, right? The possibility is there. Yes, I agree with that. Not that Kraus is abusive to Jessica or anything, just a bit of a slot. I wasn't suggesting abuse, just like a distance, a lack of connection, or like not as strong of a bond as with Natsuhi.
Omae no you ni jiko shuchou no hageshii onna de wa mirai no otto mo sazo ya kurou suru to omou no da ga ne.
Well, thank God she did find a husband who is not threatened by that. At least so far, I don't feel like Hideyoshi.
女は結婚して夫の陰にいろとそう言いたいの？余計なお世話よ。
お前が親父殿を尊敬していて、その娘としてふさわしくありたいと思う気持ちは、我が妹ながら見上げたものだよ。私にも尊敬できることだ。
気持ち悪い。何が私よ。この間まで俺だったくせに。もう当主気取りなの？
当主は私が継ぐことに最初から決まっている。にもかかわらず、お前は自分も当主になれるかのように錯覚して、無駄かつ暴走した努力をしているに過ぎんのだよ。
暴走した努力ですって、私が大学院に進みたいと言い出すのがそんなにもおかしいっていうの？あ
あ、おかしいね。お前は確かに栄光ある後宮家の長女だよ。やがてはその家紋を背負って父にとって最も価値ある相手と婚約することになるだろう。だがそこで求められるのは過剰な学識ではない。夫をいたわる優しい気持ちと家事能力、そして一家の長を立てる控えめな態度だ。お前にはそれが完全に欠落している。それは後宮家の令嬢として果たしてふさわしいことなのかね。
私は真相の令嬢のつもりなんかないわよ。お父様の仕事を手伝ってあげられる最高の人間でありたいと思っただけよ。
ならそれは後宮家令嬢としてふさわしくあるべきではないのかね。お前ときたらなんだね。 いい年をして未だに男勝りで、家事炊事はおろか、男を喜ばせる化粧一つ身につけていないじゃないか。
How hard can I roll my eyes at this? The implication of that being a counter to my statement is that the situation those people are in has been deteriorating over time, which I don't think is true. Across the globe, the trend is improvement. Yes, that is true. But wait, which comment are you referring to so I can have the same... regarding the best time in history, yep. I read factfulness, I agree. Generally, it is an upwards trend. Things are getting better. There's still bad things, of course, there's still things to be improved, but it's getting better. Hideyoshi is a self-made man, not anyone's successor. I guess that is also a good note to make. Because he likely, because he is self-made and he recognizes the same kind of maybe effort and ambition in Eva, he is able to appreciate it, understand it, and stand on the same level with her as her equal. Not identical, they still have like very manly and very ladylike things about themselves and about their interaction, but in their marriage so far to me, they have always felt like on the same level. Like they place themselves on the same level and they support each other from that perspective. Like neither of them feels like they're on a superior versus inferior position to the other. I mean, I don't know about specific metrics. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of like specific stats or whatever measurement to be used. I'm just trying to say that generally speaking, the world right now is much better than it used to be some decades ago, and I am grateful for all the good things. And they came like they were the fruit of effort that people that came before us put into, and maybe their names aren't even registered anyway. Maybe we don't know how to point at someone to say, it's because of these people that now I get to enjoy this. Right, so sometimes like this humbles me and it gets me to this point where like, I don't know, I'm going about my day and I'm enjoying the benefits of something that's around me that I maybe just take for granted that it's always there, right? And it just gives me pause and makes me think, oh, this actually, to get me to the point where I can just not even think about this. Some people in the past had to suffer through not having it and having to fight for it to be a thing or to work hard to make it into a thing. So I'm grateful. I'm happy with where I am in life and with the things that we have, even though the world is not perfect. I don't really particularly want to go into capitalism too much either, so it's not my... Why do we have all those mental health issues in society? Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is something that is still, like, it's not perfect, right? We fix something, then something else is not working right, or we just awaken to something that has been taken as a thing for granted for a while, and then we realize, wait, actually, that's not really that good. Look at the effects it has in our society. So now we talk about it and we try to work through it. There's, like, life is a constant seeking of balance between extremes, because you don't want to go so far into one direction where all you have to do is like or you are put in the situation where society tells you all you have to do is just endure and just fight through it, and like your days like constant or like your days go on in constant misery and so on, and you like never enjoy life and stuff, and you have all of these mental things that obviously arise from that, but you cannot talk about it. There's no framework built into society to even have these conversations at all, right? So that's one extreme. And the other extreme is where we coddle everyone, and it's like, oh, you're sad today, oh no, you don't have to do anything, oh poor little baby. No, we don't need to go into the direction too much. We have to constantly have a back and forth between these two to seek a balance, and I don't think we will ever land on it, specifically because every culture and every person is different, so there's no one-size-fits-all kind of solution. But the idea is to be able to exist in a world where we can even have the conversation and we can try to, you know, pull a little bit in that direction, recognize when we've gone a little bit too much, correct, recognize, correct, and so on. And I think we live in a world where this is becoming more and more possible. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, let's move on to this. Yeah, never wear any makeup to please men. Mm-hmm.
最近は喧嘩の稽古までしてると言うじゃないかね。
How to brawl? What does that mean?
失礼な。喧嘩じゃないわよ。武道は心の修練に最適なのよ。それに叱るべき場に出るときは十分女として気を使ってるわよ。何が言いたいのよ。
Oh, this Lynn. Yeah. I mean, yeah, just generally speaking, we have things to be grateful for in the life that we're living, wherever we are in the world. There are good things around, so I think it's a healthy attitude to just recognize that, be happy for it, but also, you know, be open to the things that might not be going so well, also things that could come from someone else's experience that you don't immediately identify with. Just be open to that. Strive for what the world could be. Don't accept it for what it is, for what it is, but also be grateful for the progress that has happened before you. Basically, that's my point. That's all of it. Optimism in Umineko. I feel like you have to, like, this is the thing, right? It's the most, it gives me the biggest adrenaline rush when battler is in this attitude of, no, I will not accept you, I will fight through this, and so on, right? It gives me this rush instead when he is all, like, defeated and like submissive and completely beneath himself like he was last stream. It just makes me very sad. I don't think that's fitting. I think actually there's this thread of hope and optimism and standing your ground in front of adversity that is kind of threaded in between everything that we've seen thus far in the novel. And I think it's important to recognize it because I think it's one of the most well put together subtexts that I have seen so far. We're derailing the Umineko experience. Forgive us, Golden Witch. Yeah, okay. Have a good life and leave the abstract politics as a hobby. I like that. I'm with Desolate on that. Okay, and with that we will let it be and continue this. Right, so Eva is doing martial arts. How dare she?
女は男に仕える奴隷であれと、しゃしゃり出るなと、そう言いたいわけ？
I just want to see the young Eva. Okay.
それを認めるのはエレガントではないが、お前の勘違いを正すには、少々毒のある言葉も必要かと思うよ。だから言い切ろう。女は男に仕えるために存在する。そして男は女を養うために存在する。女の仕事は男の背中を守り、家庭を守って子を育てることだ。それは本来、言葉で気づかされることではない。おのずと気づくことだ。しかしお前はいくつになってもそれを自覚しなかったな。だから社会に出る前に、兄である私がその誤解を解くのだよ。感謝してほしいものだね。
それは全ての女への侮辱よ。いえ、私は自分のことを女だと思ったことなどないし、女だからと甘えたことなど一度もない。
I feel so sorry for Natsuki that she married this man.
私のどこが兄さんに劣っているというの？成績も経歴も何もかも私の方が勝っていて、ただ男である以上の何も持たない兄さんが私の何を見下せるっていうのよ。
身の程をわきまえているか否かだよ。 私は次の当主としての心構えを日々養っている。それは将来必ず必要になることだ。だがお前は違う。突に後ろ宮の席を失うことが決まっているくせに、見る必要のない幻を見ている。
Oh yeah, definitely. No. What I was saying earlier is, yes, Natsuhi is a very conservative wife, but she's very firm and secure in her position. Nobody told her that she has to against her will. Definitely not. But I feel that she is not getting the recognition she deserves from her husband. And we've had some moments like that. But I also, like, from the scene, I'm just thinking, oh, just how many unpleasant experiences have there been in her life when her husband like didn't rise up to the husband she's deserving of having because he's holding these beliefs, and he probably acted in some ways driven by these beliefs that hurt her. I have an absolute immense amount of respect for Natsuhi and what she embodies. The scene is when tradition turns into tyranny. Oh, that's so well put. You're very eloquent, Ezoline. I love it. Her own volition might be a result of her upbringing. Yes, sure. Sure. But I cannot see Natsuhi as the kind of woman to have never had a moment to sit down and say, is this really what I want? Am I happy with this? I think she genuinely perceives value in that, and so she pursued it, and that's how she lived her life. I respect that. Good for her. Same as Kraus's upbringing suggested his role is to be next head. Yeah, I mean, you know, headcanon, Kraus isn't that sexist and patriarchal, he just knows how to get on Neva's nerves. I guess? I guess that could be it too. He definitely does know how to push her buttons. That is something we've already seen before as well. He's trying to emulate Kinzo. Okay.
仮に男に生まれようとも、当主を継ぐのはお前ではないだろうに。
Regardless of whether he actually believes it or not, the fact that he is trying to emulate this and acts on it and says things based on it, even if he doesn't actually believe it deep down himself, is still something that I would pin against him, because his actions and his words are hurting the people around him. Here is Eva, and in the other things that maybe I was kind of hypothesizing earlier, he might have hurt Natsuhi in being like this. Kraus is a big dum-dum, we know that already. Okay, that concludes it.
お前は何がそんなにも不満で私に突っかかってくるのか。
何が不満かですって？兄さんはいつも自分は当主跡継ぎだからと私を見下して、そのくせ
What's so unsatisfying, he says? A billion grudges, hard feelings, humiliations that I'll never forget crossed through the back of my mind. And all of them built up at the same time, coming out of my throat as nothing more than a shameful moan.
何事か想像し、沈黙を尊ぶのは神だけではないぞ。
お父さん。
お父様。
Our sibling fight was probably overheard. Father entered with a clearly displeased face. Kraus definitely has insecurity issues. Not sure if it was episode 1 or 2, but remember when he was talking about how everyone was laughing behind his back, even his own mother? Vaguely. I mean, they all have this. All of them. So far it has been suggested, and we have delved a little bit deeper for like Rosa's backstory last time, and now for Eva's backstory now. But they all have this. They're not just, you know, being born and finding themselves in positions and suddenly, oh, this is what I believe. They believe things, and their worldview is shaped by the things that have hurt and traumatized them, by the things that have been imposed onto them by other people. So it's this constant vicious cycle of like from one generation to the other, these things are passed down and children are raised in a certain way. And obviously Kraus has this, and then he projects it in his way that he interacts with Eva, maybe in the pursuit of, I don't know, letting out some of his frustration. So then he's inflicting this onto Eva, who then builds her own trauma around it, who then inflicts this onto Rosa and the others, and so on and so forth. Vicious cycle, always. Always. Man, Kinzo's not a good father, I still love him. Yeah. I mean, Kinzo himself has lived through very difficult things, and also his worldview was shaped by that and has had things forced onto him. That is also true, yeah, it is a thing, but at the same time, there is, up to a certain point, there is some justification for all of these, because like if you're born in a certain family that needs to uphold certain, I don't know, values, traditions, whatever things, do we just throw those out of the window to allow the kids to, I don't know, not have any sort of discipline or structure in their lives? No. But did they go a little bit into the direction of being too much? Yes. And when it comes to this specific example of Natsuhi putting pressure on Jessica to study, well, yeah. Isn't that, like, natural? Kids will not want to study. They will want to play and chill all day. But they have to put an effort to just grow as human beings, right? So you have to push them in the direction. Is it that maybe a little bit too much? Is Natsuhi straying in the direction of putting too much pressure because of all the added weight of, this is Shiromiya family, you are the successor, you have to uphold certain values, standards, whatever? Yes, true. But just generally speaking, is it really a bad thing that a parent is pushing their child to study and to find a value in that, and to emphasize that this is something that the child needs to do? That's not really wrong, necessarily. Burn suffering from success. Oh man. Rich elites can have a difficult life too, just in a different way, yeah. Kraus struggles with being the eldest, Eva engages in power struggles with him, and Rosa struggles with being the youngest. Rudolph seems to deal the best in the sibling context. I feel like Rudolph also has his own kind of thing. Maybe we just haven't gone into the details, but I think it was teased already that he also was kind of, maybe not bullied, but has had like negative interactions with Eva and Kraus as well. Although I don't think we have been given details about him so far. Right, next.
また兄弟喧嘩か。お前にはなぜに弟や妹たちを率いる貫禄が宿らぬのか。情けない。長男が聞いては切れるぞ。
In a flash, he struck Kraus's face. Okay, there's the violence, sure. I prepared myself to be struck in the same way, but I wasn't hit.
申し訳ありません。お父さん。
お前に足りぬのは貫禄だけではない。まだまだ足りぬ。何もかもが未熟だ。にもかかわらず一人前を気取っておる。それを語るには100年早いことを肝に銘じ、研鑽に努めよ。わしをこれ以上息子の不出来で嘆かせるでないぞ。
はい。お父さんの後を継ぐにふさわしい人間になれるよう、さらに努力します。
It was as if those words were directed at me. Even when he was being yelled at by father, he was still bragging to me about how he was special, about how he was the successor. I just couldn't stand it and finally spoke what was on my mind. even though I realized that this was improper for a person of the Ushiromiya family.
お父様、教えてください。私の何が劣っているというのですか？私はお父様の名に恥じない人間になれるよう、今日まであらゆる勉強と努力を重ねてまいりました。どうか私にも何が劣っているのかお教えください。私はこれ以上何を身につけたならお父様に認めていただけるのですか？
またその話か。お前には何度言えばわかるのだ。お前に期待していることなど何もない。女は女らしく料理や裁縫を学んでおればいい。
See, two very different extremes. All of the expectations shoved on Kraus, no expectations on Eva. Both hurt. Growing up with a parent like that traumatizes you in both ways. Like, sorry, in both directions, it's traumatizing. Different types of trauma, but still traumatizing. Ugh, damn it.
貴様には女の心構えがないのだ。夫に仕えようとする気心が男に尽くそうという海外しさが全く感じられぬ。何のための女なのか。後ろ宮家の令嬢であることを自覚しておるのか。なのに学びたがることは男の真似事ばかり。お前の役割はクラウスの真似事ではないのだぞ。
There is one little nugget in there that I could agree with in abstract, but I cannot bring myself to agree with in this particular context that Kinzo is putting it, in the sense of how do I say it? There are things that are masculine and feminine in, I don't know, I guess in concept, but that doesn't mean they cannot be pursued by both men and women. It's just when you lean too much into, like as a woman, when you lean too much into masculine things, you could go so far in that direction to kind of lose the things about femininity that are actually beautiful and nice. And so don't lose sight of that. So I would agree with that just in abstract. If you try to act like a man way too much, then you lose some things that are inherently beautiful about yourself when being a woman. But it doesn't apply to this context at all, because he's belittling like every single thing. And also his conception of what it means to be a woman, what is feminine, is very skewed as well. So I cannot give it to him here. I cannot concede. I wonder how Kinzo feels about Rosa, if he's this harsh towards Eva. I don't know. Maybe we will find out. Maybe we'll be shown something. He just doesn't give a F about her. Oh no. Oh, hi Mr. Hardcore. How are you? Long time no see. Thank you for the hydration. I have the bottle in my hand. I shall do it. Yeah.
お前には自らの役割が分かっているのか。
私は後ろ宮家の人間としてお父様の名に恥ずかしくない。
その時点でもう間違っておるわ。貴様の役割は家を出て嫁ぎ、わしにとって有益な男を連れてくることだ。
Aw, I'm alright. I'm just, the summer is destroying me because I hate heat. And it's like above the 30s here. Oh wait, no, that is in Celsius degrees. I don't know how to translate that to Fahrenheit, but it's in the higher register of summer temperatures and it's destroying me. But otherwise I'm okay. I'm okay. Soon I'm gonna be on vacation, so I'm looking forward to that.
そして夫に尽くし子を産み増やせ。夫の一族に褒めたたえられる良妻であれ。お前に男を喜ばせる何ができるというのか。茶の作法があるというのか。料理の才能があるというのか。何もない。お前がやっているのはみんなクラウスの真似事ばかりではないか。後ろ宮家はクラウスが継ぐ。お前がそれに不満を唱えるというのなら、それはこの私に逆らうということだ。 お前は我が娘でありながら父の言うことを聞けぬというのか。出て行け。感動だ。お前に後ろ宮など語らせん。感動だ感動だ。
Great parenting. Thank you, Kinzo.
お父さん、しっかり。
Thank you, thank you.
落ち着いてください。源氏さん、水を持ってきてもらえますか。
はい。ただいま。
エヴァ、席を外せ。本心ではないさ。私がなだめておく。
Oh, interesting. He is taking Eva's side on this. Earlier, he was kind of saying the same things, maybe in different words and not with this like level of magnitude. But okay.
感動だ。私の言うことが危険なら感動だ。
As father struggled with a fit of heavy coughs, my brother patted his back, as if that were naturally his duty. It was so vexing for me, then, to let him monopolize that duty. If I approached father carelessly, I would probably be hit again. However, I fearlessly tried to approach father's back. Does he? I don't know, I can't tell. Genji blocked me.
今は席をお外しになられた方が良いでしょう。親方様は今日はご機嫌がよくありません。
なぜに私の息子たちはこうも不出来なのか。クラウスは貫禄が足りず、エヴァはいつまでたってもじゃじゃ馬だ。男らしい男はおらず、女らしい女もいない。私の育て方がいつどこでどう間違ったのか。なぜだ源氏。私は何をいつどこでどう間違えたというのか。
親方様は何もお間違いになってはおりません。クラウス様はたくましいご子息に、エヴァ様は麗しいご令嬢に成長されました。何もお間違いにはなっておりません。
That moment when the butler is giving you more parently kind of approval than your own parent. Yeah.
あれのどこが麗しいというのか。淑女どころか男の真似事ばかり。感動だ感動だ。
お父さん、それは私からよくエヴァに言い聞かせたところです。エヴァもこれからは心を入れ替えてレディーとして振る舞うと約束してくれました。
What are you doing?
どうかもう少しの猶予をいただけませんか。
何がレディーだ。感動だ感動だ。
Go quickly, and I'll handle this for you. Kraus gave me a look, telling me that. Did I take the wrong path, just like father and my brother had said? They were right that I had never studied how to be a lady. Everything I had learned was because I'd hoped that I could help father someday. Wait, was that really the case? Hadn't I always held a growing sense of rivalry with my brother, with whom I'd had a bad relationship since I was a young girl? And wasn't I just trying to get the better of him by stealing his position as successor to the head? Every time my brother told me that men should be manly and women should be womanly. I had been tormented by this unreasonable discrimination because of my sex, something I was born with and couldn't do anything about. I had resisted, had endeavored to study until today so that I could prove that I wasn't inferior even though I was a woman. In that case, wasn't the basis of my love of learning just a boring inferiority complex towards my brother? Father had expected me to be a lady with whom he could go out in public and not be embarrassed. Had I betrayed that expectation and earned grades to intimidate my brother just to clear away the pent-up resentment from my childhood? I mean, it's good that she's having these reflections, because only by having them can you... Ooh.
違うわ。 私が後宮家の跡継ぎになるんだって、あなたは私に誓ったわ。
She looks so cute. I love the hairstyle.
あんたは。
The one who came whispering to me was myself, born in my heart, on the day I made that vow. Myself on that day as a little girl. That's right. She was my only ally. Whenever I was suffering, whenever I felt like I could take no more, she would always quietly appear and take my side. Whenever I found myself with my head in my hands, stumbling over difficult problems, she would always appear and support me. As I had grown and forgotten my time as a girl, I had also begun to forget my conversations with her.
私、後宮エヴァは絶対に後宮家の当主になるの。そして、あのムカつく高慢ちきなクラウスを見返してやるの。そのために一緒に頑張ろうって、あの日私たちは約束したわ。そうね。約束したわ。私は、後宮家の当主跡継ぎになるって、あの日にね。
On that day, when I had been overcome with sadness, wondering why I was even alive, you appeared inside me and lent me your
お
strength.
父様に認められたかった。兄さんの鼻を明かしてやりたかった。そうすれば、惨めな自分に決別ができると信じていたわ。
In those days, I had really believed that I had no other purpose in life than to be looked down upon by my brother. It's painful just remembering those days. The wound, the tear that split open in my heart. She taught me how to sew up that wound. I would change my anger into effort and improve myself, become a person more worthy to be head than Kraus was, and triumph over him by making father accept me, the perfect revenge. I mean, bettering yourself is always a good thing. You should always strive for it. And if it's, at least initially or somewhere along the way, fueled a little bit by a feeling of competitiveness and that you want to prove someone wrong and that you want to be accepted by someone or whatever, sure, but the goal should be that you do it for yourself and like be secure in who you end up being as a person overall. If you are too stuck on what the outcome of it should be in sense of what consequences it has when it involves external actors or external factors, you will be disappointed because you can't really control that. You can do all of the right things, but if Kinzo doesn't want to see you as his daughter that he should be proud of, he will not do it. Can you control that? No. Did you do wrong in pursuing all of these things and bettering yourself? No, either, right? So I think that's more of the direction in which she still needs to do some soul searching. This playthrough is getting better and better. I don't know. I'm spitballing here. I knew more or less that a woman couldn't succeed the head. But if I could become so superior that I could overturn that, then surely even father would select me to be his successor. But the thing is, you can feel successful in your endeavors even if you don't end up being the successor of the family, right? So she kind of like set her eyes on this specific goal and outcome of her efforts that actually she has not that much influence over, because she can prove them wrong, but they still have to accept that they're wrong and change their minds, which they won't do, and she can't control that. So, yeah. If that happened, then I could have the greatest, ultimate, most perfect revenge against my brother, who always acted like it was completely natural for him to succeed the head. She wants to be acknowledged, of course. We all want to. Aren't all of our childhood struggles coming from this same similar common place of we want to be acknowledged and accepted and by our parents? We want our parents to be proud of us. Yeah. And our siblings, but I don't know about siblings because I am an only child, so I cannot comment on that too much. Yeah, you want to be acknowledged, but at the same time, you have to also acknowledge that it ultimately rests with the other person. And you can do all of the right things, and the other person still could decide not to acknowledge you. So then what are you left with? You're left with yourself. And that's where you have to find your answer. your final one. Within yourself and not with other people.
そうすれば私たちの心の傷は癒えるの。
Yeah, see, this thing, like, you cannot put the outcome of being healed or like overcoming your hardship on other people's choices and decisions, because you can influence them. That is your own journey to be had, but yeah, I guess Eva is just not there.
その日まで頑張ろうって誓い合ったわ。なのに、あなたはその約束を破るの？クズ。育児なし。へそかんで死んじゃえば
At least she's acting towards her own self in the same way that she's acting towards others. She is consistent, but I'm not sure this is healthy. Even though she has the form of my young self, she is still another me. And she has a sharp tongue, after all. She's me.
自分に言われても腹が立つわね。そこまでボロクソに言われる筋合いはないわ。ならばその怒りを勉強に費やしましょうよ。怒りを力に変えるのが私の魔法。この力で何度もあなたの窮地を救い、あなたはなせないはずのことを成し遂げてきた。私の魔法がある限り、あなたにできないことなどありはしないわ。
Eva loves to debate so much she created an alter ego. Yes.
そうね。怒りはいつも私の原動力だったわ。いつからそれを忘れてしまったのかしら。私を思い出せたなら、あの魔法の力は再び私たちのもの。さあ、その怒りを力に変えて、もっともっと勉強に励みましょう。きっと私たちには、まだまだ勉強が足りないのよ。大学院に進んで、もっといっぱい勉強して、優れた成績を出して、クラウスを追い詰めてやりましょう。あいつ、なんでもなさそうな顔してるけど、きっと心は相当追い詰められてるわ。早く身の程を思い知って死んじゃえばいいのに。そうすれば私たちが当主になれる。ルドルフは辞退してくれるわ。あの子は私には逆らえないもの。よして。もうこれ以上勉強してもお父様は私を認めてくれないのよ。どうして？お父様は私に女らしくしろと言っているのよ。私がどれだけ頑張ろうと、女である限り、たとえ私が兄さんより先に生まれていたとしても、私に当主を譲ることはないのよ。私がどれだけ努力を重ねようとも、私は女以上の何者にもなれない。認められない。何の努力もしない兄さんを超えられない。
How ironic, though, is it? Now that I think about it, that in the present of the Umineko novel, I mean, the situation is that Jessica would inherit everything, who's a woman, and Eva now has a child who is a man, who she would hope, or would have hoped, that, you know, would inherit everything because he's a man. How ironic is that? And also there were moments, I believe, if I'm not remembering this wrong, where either Eva says it or like there's a narrator explaining it, that she takes pride in the fact that her offspring is a man because of this whole gendered thing that, you know, men should inherit whatever, while Natsuhi was only able to have a girl. But how does that fall in line with this, with all of the struggle here? Like, isn't that contradictory to it? Ah, Eva. I'm right.
お父様もクラウスも最低の男尊主義者だわ。早く死んじゃえばいいのに。
Yeah, you say that, but you don't believe it. She would curse in my place, words that I couldn't say carelessly, she would say for me. Even though I understood that she was just another part of myself inside of me, I felt like she was the only ally I had who would sympathize with me. However, while sympathy might calm my heart somewhat, it wouldn't do anything to improve my current situation. In the end, she could only console me when I was dejected by reality, and for the amount of time I needed to accept it.
ありがとう。もう結構よ。
こうとなったら、お父様が驚くような淑女になってやるわ。兄さんなんかとは比べ物にならない立派な男を探して。
ダメ、そんなの。
She rejected my timid thoughts. I know why. Because she is me, I know why.
お父様は少なくとも今は女に当主を継がせないと言っている。でもそれすらも所詮はお父様が決めたルールでしかないの。お父様が決めた以上、それを破棄できるのもお父様。人の気持ちなど浜の真砂が尽きるよりはるかに早く変わるわ。クラウスが愚鈍な男であることは私たちが立証しなくてもやがてお父様も理解する。
I mean, I see that Kinzo here was already in at least getting close to the place that he's at in the present days, where he doesn't like any of his children. He doesn't want to leave anyone with anything.
その時、男女の境のくだらない垣根は、それを設けたお父様によって取り払われるの。
It's not even a question of gender roles anymore, or man versus woman, or acting to bring pride to the family or whatever. It's no longer a question of anything. He's just self-absorbed, obsessed with Beatrice, and he doesn't want to give the vultures anything. Like, what is the point? Like, are you really like putting the outcome of like how you feel about all of the effort that you've put into your life and in building yourself as a person onto this other external being who is in this mode, and his approval or disapproval is the end all be all of how you feel about yourself?
その日は必ず来るわ。
Something to reflect on.
どうして必ずなんて言えるのよ。それが私の魔法だから。あなたが信じてくれさえすれば、この魔法は必ず奇跡を呼ぶの。私の魔法の源は、あなたの信じる心だけ。
If I can use that magic, then surely until the day I die, I'll never have to doubt that someday I will become the head. But I don't know if that is the right thing for Ushiromiya Eva. Shouldn't I aim to become the kind of lady that father hoped for? Someone he can take out into society and boast about? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly with what kind of purpose magic is being invoked here. Father might take a better view of me if I were reborn. Maybe my brother could find his own lifestyle and I could find mine. Besides, no matter what, I just can't imagine that my father, stubborn as he is, would not only allow a woman to succeed ahead, but also skip my older brother and select me for the headship.
信じないの？あのね、私思ったの。私には当主は告げないかもしれないけれど、私は女で、子を産むことができるわ。そして兄さんには未だ縁談もない。もし兄さんに子供ができず、私だけが子供を産めたなら、兄さんの次の当主は私の子供ということになるでしょ？それはつまり、私が兄さんから当主の座を奪うのと同じ意味にならないかしら。本気で言ってるの？ええ、本気よ。少女時代からの決意を捨てるのは確かにとても悲しいこと。私の少女時代そのものであるあなたを裏切るのは、でも、それが一番現実的なのよ。
I mean, you can adapt as you go through life, right? When you are young, and you set on a certain outcome that you want to achieve, maybe as you grow older, you realize, oh, I was a little bit misguided actually in setting it that to be the specific outcome. Maybe I should adjust and, redirect myself a little bit in the path that I've undertaken. And that is fine. That is healthy. That is correct. I think it would be actually detrimental to her evolution as a person to just stay stuck in those ideas. No, I have to be the head. I have to convince father and I have to win against brother. That's when I will be satisfied. As you go through life, you can find that you can be satisfied with maybe different things and you don't have to rely so much on others. In that moment, my body changed and I was no longer myself from back then, but as I am now, a wife and mother. Yes, this is a dream. Even so, she still possessed the same ambition and desire as always, and she argued back with her expression displaying clear displeasure at this change.
夢を捨てるの？そして私も捨てるの？
捨てるんじゃない。私も大人になってあなたと決別する日が来たということよ。
There it is.
そうね。エヴァはもう大人になったわ。魔法の使い方さえ忘れてしまった。今は一児の母。
You've forgotten how to use magic. What does that even mean?
自ら夢を叶える魔法を忘れ去って、その夢を息子に押し付けている。自らの人生をお父様やクラウスによってめちゃくちゃにされたくせに、あなたも自らの夢を息子に押し付けてめちゃくちゃにしようとしているの。
Well, interesting that it's also the younger self who's now making this argument, who earlier was like, why aren't you pursuing it? Oh, now why are you pushing it onto your son?
それが大人というものなの？
ジョージはどこに出しても恥ずかしくない自慢の息子よ。私には叶えられなかった夢を、ジョージなら叶えられるかもしれない。
But even if that dream isn't granted, just focus on the first part. He won't embarrass me no matter where he goes. There it is. Focus on acknowledging, supporting, and loving your son for who he is. That's it. Maybe Eva will fix a vase later on.
ジェシカなんて成績も貧困も不良じゃない。それに女なのよ。ジェシカさえ辞退してくれれば、ジョージが後継ぎになることだって。
There it is. There's the contradiction and the irony. My heart pained, even as I said it. Aren't I just forcing my own regrets onto George? I don't have any right to disparage Jessica, and to hit her with the same words that had caused me so much suffering is just horrible. Yes. At least you're aware of yourself. Good. I understand. Wanting to triumph over my brother was nothing more than my personal revenge. I mustn't use George for that.
だから、私自らが復讐するわ。ルドルフとローザを味方に、兄さんから金をせしめようという計画があるの。
I see. Okay, I see where it connects. I got it.
きっと意志報いることができるわ。何しろ、兄さんがお父様の資産をつまみ食いしているのは確かなんだから。
Yeah, it is. But it's also very satisfying as a reader to see it. Because like we've been talking about these things and I kind of more or less anticipating it. I more or less anticipated it. And now we have the character themselves get to that point of realizing it. It feels so good. Because I think if they hadn't, then you would be left with this kind of empty feeling, right? They would have felt like an empty shell with no progression and being stuck in their own same ways. So yeah, very, very big thumbs up here.
つまんない計画。そんなのさっさとやめて泣き寝入りでもしちゃえば？私たちは後ろ宮家の当主になるの。その夢をごまかさないで。だから絶対に叶えられると私を信じて。
Almost like the story is treating the reader like an adult. Well, I would hope the story was not intended for little children because it's definitely not their place to be here.
私の魔法を信じて。
信じたら魔法は力を持つのかしら？
うん。私の魔法はどんな願いも必ず叶えるの。
信じるわ。信じるから。その魔法で奇跡を起こして。そうでなくちゃ。私の心の傷は永久に癒されない。
Showing violence is easy, showing how complex humans can be is hard. True. True. I guess this is also something that I don't like about Beatrice so far. That she's just like being gruesome and violent and mean and torturous because... And I like that it was pointed out in the beginning. It's easy to do that. It's very, very easy to do that. So I hope she gets some development in that direction too, because I'm kind of over it. Especially after last stream, it was ugh. Yeah. Her violence is very gratuitous. Yes, it is.
なら、よく聞いて。私の魔法の言葉。そしてそれを理解して。謎が解けたなら、私たちは後宮家の当主になれるの。だから、耳を澄ましてよく聞いて。
Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved home of old. You who seek the golden land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. Oh!
エヴァ姉さん、そろそろ着くみたいですよ。
As her shoulder was tapped by Kiria, Eva jumped and awoke from her doze.
ごめんなさいね。寝ぼけてたわ。驚かせてしまってごめんなさいね。
エヴァおばさん、ぐっすりでしたね。
I was thinking that something was off about that young Eva. Her eyes were so blue. Eva's eyes are not fully blue, are they?
朝はだいぶ早かったんす
They're
か？
like purplish, or I don't know.
まあね。
I don't know if this is an intended change. Or do I need some sleep? Did I not catch that right?
恥ずかしいところを見せちゃったわ。ごめんなさい。
眠れるくらい余裕があるのは大したもんだぜ。バートラなんかずっと落ちるーったの、沈むーったの。
I forgot about that.
全く退屈しないやつだぜ。
Just with that one scene, many readers changed their perspective of Eva quite a bit. I understand her a lot more. I still don't think that backstory is good enough to justify all of the mean things she says and does, though. I will still call her out on that. I will still not like it. But that's alright.
うるせえな。人間誰しも苦手の一つや二つくらいあるもんだぜ。
Battler and Jessica went back out, squabbling merrily. Rudolph also made a face as if asking, "Are you alright?"
しっかりしろよ。親父たちの顔を見れば眠気もすっ飛ぶさ。せいぜいお互い頑張ろうぜ。
そうね。特に今年はしっかりしないとね。
だな。お互いケツの穴を引き締めてかかろうぜ。
Let's tense up our assholes and do this thing. What? Okay, I guess I missed Rudolph. Contextualization at most, yes. Very well said, Bantram. Rudolph said these strict words in a small voice that only Eva could hear. Failure would not be tolerated in this year's family conference. I mean, you're all gonna die, so what does it matter? All of their companies were hanging in the balance. Even Rudolph's face looked a little tense. Eva's expression probably looked tense as well.
母さん、荷物を持つよ。甲板に上がろう。
ありがとう。ジョージは本当に気が利くわね。
どうして急にお礼なんか。母さんらしくもない。
エヴァ、ジョージ、到着やで。荷物をまとめるんや。はい、
到着
こらマリア、転ぶから走るのをやめなさい。
It seemed Maria was already getting excited. Of course she was. She ran circles around Hideyoshi, escaping from Rosa, who was trying to catch her. Oh.
どうしたの、母さん。具合悪いの？
She was thinking of the epitaph thingy.
ジョージ、荷物を持って先に行ってなさい。母さんは貧血だろ。わしが肩を貸すわ。
そう。わかったよ。先に行ってるよ。
By looking at Eva's peculiar expression, Hideyoshi realized that it had not been a pleasant awakening and made George go on ahead. Rudolph's family and Rosa's family also went up to the deck, leaving only Eva and Hideyoshi inside the boat. Eva had a vague expression on her face, as though she still hadn't been able to escape from her daydream.
どないしたんや。神妙な顔して。
私、ジョージを自分の復讐の道具にしてたんじゃないかしら。私の 兄さんに対する子供じみた敵対心のせいで、あの子の人生を自分のおもちゃにしてしまってはいないかしら。ああ、私はなんてことを。
そんなことあらへん。ジョージはどこに出しても恥ずかしゅうないわしらの自慢の息子や。仮にエヴァの思惑が多少混じっとったとしても、結果オーライっちゅうもんやないか。
Hideyoshi gets it.
エヴァはなんも悪うない。むしろジョージは厳しくしつけてくれたと感謝しとるくらいやで。
本当に？ねえ、本当？ジョージは私のこと嫌な母さんだと思ってないかしら？ねえ。
そんなこと、ただの一度も口にしたことあらへんで。エヴァの杞憂や。
秀吉様、皆様、下船なさっておりますよ。おや、何か落とし物ですか？お手伝いしましょうか？
Kumasawa had come to check on them when they hadn't come up to the deck. Hideyoshi hid Eva behind his back so that her expression couldn't be seen.
すまんな。
What a great husband he is. That he's attuned and aware of these little things. I don't know if Kraus would do that for Natsuhi. I don't see him doing it. I like Hideyoshi a lot.
ちょっとわしのネクタイピンがいかれてもうてな。もう大丈夫や。すぐ行くで。
Yeah.
外で待っててや。
そうですか。それでは、表でお待ちいたしております。
From that almost incomprehensible excuse, Kumasawa realized that something had come up and had disappeared so that she didn't trouble them further. If they stayed here any longer, they would probably make everyone else worried too.
そろそろ行こうか。ジョージたちを心配させてまうで。
私、本当にジョージに恨まれてない？
ああ。恨まれてなんかあらへん。むしろ感謝しとるぞ。悪い夢でうなされたんか。また。
Hideyoshi knew that it wasn't rare for Eva to be tormented by nightmares, and they would always become more striking on the days leading up to the family conference. Hideyoshi knew that Eva's relationship with Kraus was still so full of antagonism that it could even be called trauma, and that she still couldn't separate herself from how she'd felt as a child.
それは夢や。わしが一緒にいる。こうして手をギャーッと握っとったら、そんな夢もどっか行ってしまうで。な？ほら。
痛いわ。ありがとう。もう平気よ。降りましょう。
Oh, that's so sweet. My heart is so full right now.
降りようか。みんな待たせてるで。
ごめんなさい。
ん？
さっきあなたのタバコの煙のこと怒鳴ってごめんなさい。
普段ならそんなことで謝らんくせに。悪い夢見た後のお前は気弱でいかん。気にするなや。お前に煙が届いていることを気づかんかったわしが悪いんや。
私のこと嫌いになった？
ならんならん。この程度で嫌いなんて言うとったら3日もたんで。
Oh man. I have such a weird experience right now, getting teary-eyed. I guess it's because this is so reminiscent of how actually things go in my own relationship when I get in this kind of mode that Eva is in, and then I get supported like this. It's very nice to see. So I feel a very personal connection to this moment. It's very nice.
ささ、たったたった。折れるで、折れるで。
Yeah.
秀吉様、エヴァ様。大丈夫ですか？
When Umineko talks about love, it feels so genuine and real. Yeah.
お体が優れませんか?
This time, Goda had come. It looked like they had kept everyone waiting too long after all. Eva also stood up without grumbling this time. She couldn't keep on forcing her bad mood onto her husband and causing him more trouble. Because that was not something a good wife would do.
大丈夫ですか? 体調が気になられるようでしたら、南條先生をお呼びしましょうか。
ありがとう。ちょっと貧血気味でね。もう大丈夫よ。
婦人病中やっちゃ。気にせんといてや。
もう、そんなの人に言わないでよ。恥ずかしいわ。
おお、すまんすまん。
Ah, Elva elbowed Hideyoshi in the gut. By that time, her normal expression had returned, which allowed Hideyoshi to relax a little. Oh. The bright sunlight outside was almost enough to really make a person go giddy. A small plank was lowered to get off the boat, and Goda was waiting there, smiling and ready to lend them a hand.
どうぞエヴァ様、お手を。
ありがとう。
Yeah, sure.
六軒島へようこそいらっしゃいました。
おかえりなさい。
Yeah, I guess it's perfect. When she left the boat, it seemed to Eva as though she had heard the voice of her young self saying welcome back. No, it hadn't seemed that way. Someone had said welcome back to her. After becoming a shameless adult, the voice of her young self was distant.
私は何のために生きてるの？何をどうすれば私はこの猛襲から解き放たれるというの？
Hideyoshi heard her talking to herself. He drew Eva close to him by her shoulder, and just by his firmness, he communicated that there was no need to say anything more. Maybe it was because the typhoon was getting closer. The lively cries of the seagulls, which usually greeted them when they arrived, couldn't be heard at all. There we go. Door of Summer, that is my happy place. Yeah, I was just thinking now that, oh, this song again, it's so upbeat and nice. I guess towards the end of episodes, we don't really get to hear these hopeful, upbeat, just generally pleasant pieces of music. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. Oh, I guess I don't have a save, because we ended, yeah, we ended at the end of the episode, so now it's a little bit busy, but that's okay. Alright, yeah, it's a good place to leave it for now. A bit shorter on the time slot today because we went way beyond last time, so we can catch up and finish the episode 2 in one stream. So here we go. Door of Summer is like me playing Harvest Moon when I was 8 years old. Oh, that's so sweet. It's nice when things like this that we encounter in media that we enjoy kind of take us back to some things, and so we feel connected to them in a different way. It's nice. Hey. Thank you so much, Chidorin. Yes, I am looking forward to it as well. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Me best streamer? Oh, hardly. I'm just here. I turn on the stream and I read, and then you guys come and then the magic happens. Without you, I would be nothing. Right. One thing to do is to once again mention that there's no streams next week. Sorry about that. I'm on vacation. I will be back on the, once again, it was the 25th of July. Yep. And so the Twitch schedule thingy is on vacation mode for next week, and I also have this extension underneath the stream that I'm gonna put into it, that there's no scheduled streams for now. There we go. And we will take it up then. Cute outfit. Oh, thank you. It's just a t-shirt and a dress on top. But yeah, I'm trying to be comfy and summery because the heat is like not good. We do turn on the AC from time to time, but still summer is it's not my comfort spot, and not at all, especially July. July tends to get very, very hot. Later in the week, oh no, early next week, I saw a weather forecast of a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius. No, thank you. I don't need that. I will be somewhere else, so hopefully it's gonna be not as bad, although I don't know. But yeah, thank you, Desalane. I will do my best to recharge and relax and come back with a fresh charge of batteries to go into this yet again and have my heart broken into 1,000 pieces again, I guess. But hopefully in the process learn a lot more things about the characters like we did tonight. This was like very nice and interesting and gives a lot more depth, layers, and context to everything. So I enjoy exploring this part. If only it was just like this. But yeah. Oh, I see the bear shared a few things. Oh, nice. We have some young Eva there. And some of the other Beatrice. She looked really cool. I would have wanted to see her full dress. That's very nice. It was a nice anti-capitalism stream. I didn't intend it that way. Right. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining. It's always a pleasure to have you around and have these talks with you. I think this is the most beautiful part of sharing this novel with you all. So yeah, looking forward to doing it again on the 25th. Yeah. Until then, take care of yourselves. Beware of the heat. Hydrate. Do all the good stuff. And I'll see you then with some more Umineko. Bye bye. And have a good night.